In a quiet village nestled between mountains and streams, there lived an old carpenter named Salman. He was known not only for his skilled hands but also for his deep trust in Allah. Though he had little, he was content. His tiny home was always filled with the scent of fresh wood, the warmth of prayer, and the sound of the Quran recitations. One evening, as the sun dipped below the hills and painted the sky in gold and fire, Salman's young grandson Nu sat beside him. He had just come from the madrasa, wide-eyed and bubbling with questions. Grandfather, Nu asked, "Today our teacher told us about a phrase from the Quran, kun fayakun. He said it means be and it is, but what does that really mean?" Salman paused, set aside his carving tools, and smiled. Kun fayakun, those words are like lightning in the sky, powerful, immediate, unstoppable. Let me tell you a story, my dear one. He settled into his chair, eyes gleaming with remembrance. The story of the silent garden. Long ago, in a far off land, there was a barren valley, dry, lifeless, and forgotten. Not a single tree grew there, not a blade of grass. The earth was cracked, the skies above empty. People avoided it, calling it the Valley of Dust. But Allah, in His wisdom, had written a secret into that valley's fate. One day, a wandering traveler named Hakim passed through. He was weary, broken from loss, and his heart was heavy. He looked around and whispered, "Nothing grows here, just like nothing grows in my life anymore." That night, under a cold, starless sky, Hakim cried in sujood, "Ya Allah, if you can bring life to this earth, bring life back to my heart. I'm lost." In the unseen realm, the command came, "Kun, be," and in that instant the divine will was set into motion. Rain clouds gathered where none had formed in years, thunder echoed, and a gentle rain fell. The next morning, Hakim woke to see tiny green shoots breaking through the earth. Within days, wildflowers bloomed and saplings reached towards the sky. The valley that once echoed silence now sang with birds, buzzing bees, and flowing water. The people who once avoided it returned in awe, naming it the Garden of Allah's Command. And Hakim, he found peace in the garden's rebirth and understood something he would teach others for the rest of his life. When Allah wills something, He simply says, "Be," and it is. Back in the village, little Noo's eyes were wide. "So Allah just says it and it happens." Salman nodded gently. "Yes, my boy. Kun fayakun is the expression of will. If Allah wants something to exist, life, death, healing, a miracle, all He has to say is be." Nu whispered the words to himself, "Kun fayakun." Salman leaned in. These words are found many times in the Quran. One of the most beautiful places is when Allah speaks about the birth of Isa, peace be upon him. People asked how a child could be born without a father, and Allah said, "Indeed, His command when He intends a thing is only that He says to it, be, and it is." Surah Yasin. That's how Isa was born, Salman explained. That's how the universe was created. That's how every soul came into being. When Allah wills, nothing can stop it. Nu thought deeply. "So, is Kun Fayakun like a magic spell?" Salman chuckled. "No, not magic, majesty. Magic is a trick, a deception, but Kun Fayakun is real power. It belongs only to Allah. It reminds us that we are small and He is great." A few weeks later, Nu broke his favorite clay cup while helping in the kitchen. He was heartbroken. It had been a gift from his late father. Tears streamed down his cheeks. "I want it to be whole again," he whispered. "I wish I could see Kun Fayakun and make it better." Salman knelt beside him and said gently, "My dear, Kun Fayakun is not for us to use. It belongs to the one who created time and matter itself. But do you know what you can do?" Nu looked up. "You can pray to the one who says be. You can ask him to heal your heart. And you can trust that even if your cup cannot be made whole again, you can." That night, Nu prayed not for the cup but for the comfort, and he felt a strange peace fill his chest. As years passed, Nu grew wiser, learning Quran, history, and the science of the stars, but the phrase kun fayakun always always stayed with him. He began to see it not just a sentence but a philosophy of life. It reminded him that no situation is ever too hopeless, that miracles are never far from the reach of Allah, that human plans may fail but Allah's will always prevails. He saw it in the baby who survived against all odds, in the farmer whose land bore fruits after years of drought, in the prisoner who was suddenly freed, in the tearful sinner who found forgiveness. Each of these, in their own quiet way, were echoes of Kun Fa Back in his later years, Nu, now an elder like his grandfather once was, sat with his own grandchild. She asked, "Grandfather, is there anything Allah can't do?" He smiled with the same warmth Salman once showed him and said, "My dear, when Allah wills something, He just says be and it is. Never forget that when you are afraid, when you are alone, when you feel something is impossible, remember who you are praying to." Then he looked up at the stars and whispered, just like he had done as a child, Ya Allah, kulli ma uhib, be for me what I love. And in his heart he heard a gentle answer of the most merciful, Basakunu, and I will be. Kun Kun is not just a phrase, it's a divine truth that teaches us about Allah's unlimited power, His mercy, and His control over all things. It is a reminder that the impossible is never truly impossible for the one who created everything from nothing. So, next time life feels too heavy or the world too broken, remember the valley that bloomed overnight and whisper to your heart, My Lord only has to say, Be, and it is.